So the biggest thing is you have to remember what angle, what quadrants we're looking at. So what quadrants do I look at for cosine? 1 and, what'd you say? 1 and 2. So cosine, your answers can be between 0 and pi. What angle in quadrants 1 or 2 has a cosine of positive root 3 over 2? Let me call on some people. Miles, what would you say? Pi over 6. I agree. Okay, number 2 is tricky because 2 is in quadrants 1 and 4. And the angles in quadrant 4, you have to reflect them to make them negative. Okay, so number 2, what angle in quadrants 1 or 4 has a sine value of positive root 2 over 2? So Daniel, which one would you pick? Pi over 4. Okay, let's look at 3. Remember, this is the same thing as asking inverse sine. You could say arc sine, or you can say sine to the power of -1. Okay, so hey, what angle in quadrants 1 or 4 has a sine value of -1? It is 3 pi over 2, but that wouldn't be in the range, so negative pi over 2. That is correct. Number 4, Robin, what angle has a cosine of -1 in quadrants 1 or 2? So cosine and sine are always defined. So there is an angle that has a cosine of -1 on your unit circle. It's pi. Look at pi. The x value is -1. Okay, number 5 is asking you what angle in quadrants 1 or 4 has a tangent of +1. So, Kimberly, what would you say? Pi over 4, right. Okay, last one. What angle has a tangent of -1? Kamaya. Negative pi over 4. All right, who got at least 4 of those right? Okay, we in good shape. Okay, so yesterday's video was talking about composite functions, which are basically 2-step questions. So we start off answering the question inside of the parentheses. So looking at your unit circle, what is the cosine of 7 pi over 6? So look at your unit circle. What is the cosine of 7 pi over 6? What'd you say, Toby? Negative root 3 of 2. Okay. Now we're going to answer the inverse sine. Looking at quadrants 1 or 4, what angle has a sine of negative root 3 over 2? What'd you say, Miles? Has to be a negative angle. I think I heard you, but I don't know. Yep, negative pi over 3. That would be the final answer. Okay, let's look at number 8. First, we're going to answer the question in the middle. Go ahead, look at your unit circle. Find the sine of 5 pi over 4. So Janaya, what's the sign of 5 pi over 4? Negative who? Yep, negative root 2 over 2. Okay. Now you're going to look at the unit circle and find the angle in quadrants 1 or 2 that has a cosine of negative root 2 over 2. So what would be the angle that has a cosine of negative root 2 over 2? So Makara, what would you pick? You're in quadrants 1 or 2. Yep, and that would be right. All right. Now let's go to question number 9. I'm going to give you about 60 seconds to do that one by yourself. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to look at what is the sine of pi over 6. So the sine of pi over 6 would be what? What is the sine of pi over 6? 1/2. So now you're going to look at your unit circle in quadrants 1 or 2. What angle has a cosine value of 1/2? Pi over 3. All right, let's move over to number 10. Look at your unit circle. Inverse sine of 5 pi over 3. So, sorry, let me go back. The cosine of 5 pi over 3 is what? What's the cosine of 5 pi over 3? What'd you say? 1/2. Now you're going to look in quadrants 1 or 4 and figure out the inverse sine of 1/2. What angle has a sine of 1/2? Pi over 6. All right, last one. The sine, what's the sine of pi over 2? All right, what angle in quadrants 1 or 4 has a tangent of positive 1? Wouldn't be root 2 over 2. What angle? What's the angle? Pi over 4. All right. So, again, if you did not do the video, then make sure you get that done before it closes. Okay, so take out your notebooks. We're on 7.2 now. Okay, so now we're talking about all six. So 7.1 was sine, cosine, tangent. 7.2, we bring in secant, cosecant, and cotangent. Okay? Don't forget homework 7. No, not homework 7. I think it's homework 6. Homework 6 is due Friday. Homework 8 is due on Tuesday. All right, so let's go ahead and copy this down really quickly. So quadrants 1 and 2. So notice that cosine and its sister stay together. Sine and her sister stay together. But cotangent, they split. Okay? Cotangent is 1 and 4. Cotangent is 1 and 2. So secant and cosecant, they have asymptotes. So we are not going to use pi over 2 for secant. That's undefined. For cosecant, we're not going to use 0. And for cotangent, cotangent is 0, theta, pi. It's not equal to. Remember, we don't use the equal to. Cotangent is negative pi over 2. Again, no equal to. So we have about 14 minutes. We're going to just do a few practice questions with the sisters. And that's it. Does anybody need more time? All right, let's go ahead and copy down these 6 questions. Oh, not that. We're not doing that slide. Go ahead, copy down these 6 questions, and we're going to work through them all together. And there's a couple different ways to do it. But I think when dealing with the sister, it's best to flip it and change it to, except for cotangent. But for secant and cosecant, I would flip it and change it to an inverse sine or inverse cosine. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. I do not be to y'all like that. Getting a little sleepy. All right, so we don't have to do it for cotangent, I don't feel. So cotangent is what? How do we find cotangent? All right, first of all, let's go back. Cotangent is in quadrants 1 or 2. So I'm looking here. This is where I'm looking for cotangent, okay? That's number 1. It's not like tangent. Okay, so cotangent is quadrants 1 or 2. It's negative. So that means I'm in quadrant what? Am I looking at quadrant 1 or 2? 2, because it's negative. So now I'm here. I'm right here. Now I'm looking at these angles that I have in quadrant 2, and there's 3. We should know what this is equal to. We should know that that is just going to be what? What is the cotangent of this angle? -1. So we don't need to waste our time testing that. We only have 2 options that it could be. Either our answer will be 2 pi over 3 or 5 pi over 6. So how do we find cotangent? Is it y divided by x or x divided by y? So let's use 2 pi over 3. Let's test 2 pi over 3. If 2 pi over 3, when we divide it, if we get -√3 over 3, that means that that's my answer, is 2 pi over 3. So I'm going to take 2 pi over 3, and I'm going to divide x by y. I'm not going to waste my time writing it as division. I'm going to go straight to copy, change, flip. This goes away, and I have -1 over √3. But what would I have to do? Because you can't leave it like that, Robin. All right, and after you multiply it by √3 over 3, what do you end up getting? I'll give you all a chance to figure that out. So again, we know we're in quadrant 2 because it is negative. There's only 3 choices. 2 pi over 3, 3 pi over 4, or 5 pi over 6. We know it's not 3 pi over 4, okay, because that is going to be -1. So it has to be 2 pi over 3 or 5 pi over 6. Divide it to see which one is going to give you a -√3 over 3, and that would be 2 pi over 3. It worked. So my answer to number 1 is 2 pi over 3. I know I'm out of order, but let's jump down to 4 because it's right there. Number 4 is asking what angle has a cotangent of -1. So what angle do you think that's going to be in quadrant 2? 3 pi over 4. All right, so we got that done. Now let's go ahead and switch to cosecant. Cosecant is whose sister? Sine. So that means I'm going to quadrants 1 and 4. This is where I'm going for cosecant. I'm not using this side. So you're folding it back to hamburger. Don't use that side. All right, so first thing we need to figure out is what is the angle. Now I can look at that, and remember, I know that I'm trying to figure out which one of these sine values. I got 3 different sine values. I'm trying to figure out which one of these values, if I flip it, will give me -2 √3 over 3. To me, it's pretty obvious that it's negative root 3 over 2. But if it's not to you, then let's do it the long way. We're going to take this answer and we're going to flip it. And we have to rationalize it. So I took the cosecant, I flipped it. So basically, I'm rewriting it from a cosecant inverse to a sine inverse. So when you flip it, you get 3 root 3 over negative 2 times 3. These are going to cancel. And you're left with negative root 3 over 2. So whatever angle has a cosecant of negative 2 root 3 over 3 is the same angle that has a sine of negative root 3 over 2. All right, and you don't have to do this. Like, I'm looking at this, I knew that it was going to look like that because it has all the pieces that I need. So that was going to be my answer. So what angle are you going to give me that has a sine of negative root 3? Yep, negative pi over 3. Okay. If you were to take root 2 and flip it, you are going to get what? What do you think you're going to get? Huh? You would get 1 over root 2. You're right. So if you flip that, you get, so I'm going to rewrite it. So the sine inverse sine of 1 over root 2. But we don't leave it like that, right? We would have to multiply it. Go ahead and do that. And that would give you what? Root 2 over 2. So now I'm going to do that. I'm going to figure out what angle, I'm on number 5, has a sine value of positive root 2 over 2. Pi over 4. All right, I'm going to stop there. We'll pick up on 5 and 6 Friday.